Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Piofiore 1926, and my bird, once again, being a butt face. He's just snugging on my chest, biting my chin and my face. Hi, I think everyone can hear you beeping. There's no bird sound effects. We don't need birds beeping. Hi. Can you beep now? Microphone's like right by you. No, you're not gonna peep. You're not gonna peep? You're not gonna say hello? No? Fucking rude. He talks when I talk, but anyway. Dinner had arrived. In the dining hall were Yang and Rui. Mon and Faye had not yet returned from the church. Mon did say she wanted to play until they collapsed, so I could only assume they were still at it now. Rui hesitantly broke the silence with a reserve I hadn't seen from him before. Shall I continue where I left off? Speak. The assassin from the church, the disciple I think he's called, he attacked us yesterday. You must know this already if the guards keeping watch over her. The guards keeping watch over her have already reported it. I can read. Huh? The guards? You're the boss's girl, aren't you? Of course there are guards keeping watch over you. Let anything bad happen. As nonchalantly as he was about it, my mind spun as nonchalant as he was about it, my mind spun at the passing remark. Good fucking God! I can't read because my mind just totally wandered. Not like I was gonna pass out, I was just like, oh shit, I forgot this thing that I had to do. I had no idea. Yang must have made arrangements regarding my protection without mentioning it. I continue. Oh, I'm sorry. Please. Rui turned back to Yang and shared the details. He explained everything that had happened before and after. Even the details of our retreat. He also made mention that what Lon and Faye had taught me helped in our escape. After hearing Rui's report, Yang's eyes moved to me without any hint of emotion. You were lucky to not have been injured. Come to think of it. He stared at me for a moment before holding my cheeks with both hands and making me look up. What is it? Was that his way of checking if I was hurt? Warlock can easily avoid attacks from known threats, such as any attack that Rui could attempt. I assume you managed to hit him only because he didn't expect you to aim for him in the way you did. But do not be foolish. You should know that the same strategy will not work on him twice. Yeah, next time I'm going to chuck a brick at him. Sorry, Orlok. Understood. Look, Orlok, I'm sorry, but if you come at me again, I'm going to chuck a fucking brick at you. The only reason why we didn't sustain any injuries is because we didn't continue to engage him. Of course, she's the one who had us run away. I had no choice. I commend you for obeying her instincts. You'd have been dead had the battle continued. He's known as the strongest of the disciples, held back only by a regrettable lack of bloodlust. Lack of bloodlust? Hasn't he murdered an insane amount of people already? They were actually serious. She and the twins would be long dead. Most of Orlok's victims were true enemies of the church who deserved death in some way or another. According to the church's logic, let's just throw that out there, they can easily reap the lives of men who defy his god, but not as willing to murder women or children. Such is clear from the results we've observed. It's an obvious weakness we can exploit. To add, when Orlok was himself among the Laoshu ranks, I noticed his concern for the treatment of women. He may not be aware this is a weakness of his. In that case, his next attack will bear the same results. I didn't know much about Orlok. I could only assume that Yang knew him more from their brief time working together.
Still, I had gotten the sense from Orlok that he was hesitant to take our lives. Night arrived, and as I prepared to go to sleep, Yang suddenly spoke.
I didn't mention it to Rui, but Duon's movements have been bothering me.
Something happened.
It seems he's connected to the church. It also seems he knew the disciple would move to action while I was away. If so, unless his supposed connection is quite deep, then there's a possibility that he knows the reason why the church wants you dead.
Are you saying Rui must have known about the attack beforehand as well?
Well, who knows?
Is it possible that Rui urged me outside on purpose? That's what I thought! But I figured it was so Yuan could kidnap me. No, it really didn't seem that way.
Space.
What is it, Yang? Mao?
Do you feel better now?
Yang looked away to avoid eye contact. I love that he doesn't want to make eye contact while he's being sensitive. And you're like, can I just hold you? Just go up and hug him. And he's like, the fuck are you doing? He likes it, but it makes him uncomfortable. It's like, uncomfortable like that's why you want to do it. I'd never seen him like this before. Yes, I was too surprised to feel any more sadness. I didn't expect you to apologize, Mao. What is it?
Oh, to be honest, I'm surprised myself. I'm rather pleased that my woman would talk back to me and try to put me in my place.
Yang smiled sweetly at my silence.
I feel deeply responsible for what happened.
I was gonna say, yes, he wants you to be obedient, but you know that there are times where you're like, listen, motherfucker! And he's like, oh, I like it when you yell at me. You just gotta know when to do it. Really?
Indeed. My actions have been slowly wearing at your heart, haven't they? It seems I must reflect on my behavior and atone somehow.
You know, you're probably right.
Oh?
You really are so mean, Mao. I want you to be kinder to me. The look on his face now is like, yeah, I don't know how to do that. I know you take care of me and treat me nicely sometimes, but far more often you worry me and make me so mad, Mao.
I don't know what happened, but you've been quite honest today. Pleasant surprise.
Really?
Yes. Your honest thoughts are interesting. If anything, you've been too quiet recently.
Well, that's because every time I talk, you tell me to shut my fucking mouth. Yang really did appreciate my honesty. I should muster my courage to express myself. I love you, Mao.
I see.
I see. I mean, it could have been a worse answer, but that is a very Yang response. My face felt hotter the longer Yang's golden eyes were fixed upon me.
Like I said before, I find great enjoyment in playing with you.
Playing? Play. Yang realizes that the heroine is concerned about him.
With the one on my lap, I felt the caress of her lips over and over. I allowed her to do as she pleased before, but the hate building up within me craved more. Space. Open wide.
Wow. Whoa.
She looked at me suspiciously, but opened her mouth obediently. Deeply, so as to share in this heat.
Wait, Yang!
She pushed against my chest with her hands in an effort to pull her lips away from mine. Playtime's over. Be still.
I thought you told me before that... Oh, that's him.
I thought you told me before that you'd not run away from me.
This isn't what I
gave her no time to make excuses. I kept her quiet with my lips until she stopped.
See, this is it. I can never talk to you because every time I open my mouth, you try to shut me up by kissing me. Which is also why I talk a lot. But then sometimes it's like it's like, I'm actually trying to have a conversation with you. Could you stop kissing me?
I held her down with only enough strength to remove the clothes I bought for her. My wound opened from the movement and blood slowly trickled down my arm. She touched the blood on my skin with her fingers, her eyes trembling with fright. You can't still be afraid of blood after all this. Huh. They are worried about me. What a strange woman. Well, let me hear you moan.
No!
What's wrong? Have you forgotten already? Told you before. When I touch your skin, hearing your voice at night, nothing gets me more excited. Her pale skin flushed red. It was an irresistible sight. We could drown in pleasure together.
I mean, and then it's shit like that you're like, well, this is why I don't complain that I'm basically a house pet. Because, like, shit like that is hot. And you're like, God damn it, I'm really, and then this comes up and then you're like, okay, never mind. All my complaints are gone. And that's why I don't complain when I try to have a conversation with you and you shut me up by kissing me. Because then it turns into that. But then you complain I'm quiet and I try to talk and then you shut me up by kissing me. It's just like a cycle. It just keeps going. The beautiful, vicious cycle.
Your job is to relieve me of my boredom. I am willing to accept a reasonable amount of selfishness. I do find it amusing when you bite at me sometimes without fear.
His mysterious, sweet smile was bewitching tonight.
I want everything about you laid bare. Be honest, Space. Entertain me with your thoughts. Show me everything you have to reveal. I'm not opposed to hearing how often you think of me in earnest.
I just really love how he's like, no, go ahead and tell me how much you love me. I like it. Wow, you're selfish? Who's selfish? You. Yang smiled mischievously, then pulled me close, trapping me in his arms.
Tell me your desires. Do you want kindness? Do you want for me to dote on you? If it's a request from my woman, it must not be denied.
His words muddled my mind like sweet poison. Stop, Bird. I know that accepting his offer would only leave me in pain later, but I couldn't stop myself from speaking honestly. Then, please, Mao, I want you to dote on me. He blinked with a hint of surprise. He's like, oh, do you want me to? And you're like, yes. And he's like, oh.
Close your eyes.
I nodded slightly and obeyed. He lifted my chin with his fingers, laying upon my lips a kiss more gentle than ever before. I accepted it, taking in everything he offered to me. I felt the warmth of his hand on my back moving slowly upward. An intoxicating sensation ran through my body. He kissed me ever so gently again and again. Even so, I knew what awaited me next. Yeah, but I mean, Oh,
what a sweet little chirp. You've gotten better at this, Space. Well, what now?
More. My face was hot with embarrassment. I whispered quietly into his ear. Want you, Mao. Wow, girl! Here for it. He smiled. In the next moment, he had pushed me down onto the bed, kissing me with a deep passion. Then shit happened that we're not going to read, thank God. The reading it makes it so it's like, oh God, please don't make me read it. But it's like, I like the lead up. I like where they leave it like this and you're like, I know exactly what fucking happened.
It was midnight. After watching her drift off to sleep, I went up to the rooftop to look at the moon. Dote on her. I said and did whatever struck my fancy, so I didn't think too deeply about what I'd said, but
It wasn't so bad tonight. I looked up at the moon. Another report. No, I just wanted to check on you. On Yuan's orders, I assume. Really, you made it clear from the start that you'd share all information with Yuan. Not level any criticism against you for that. Yet, you also share information with me, and I've confirmed they're without falsehood. An odd practice, given that you wish to see my downfall. At the very least, you're not blindly loyal to Yuan. What's your true motive? I will kill Yuan. I've had enough of playing with him, and he's had enough of waiting for my response. Which is why I will kill him. Ah, I see. In that case, Rui's strained voice betrayed his unease. He spoke with such childish bravado that I could overlook his attempt to feign calmness. I'll think about who I'll side with. The next day, I woke up well after my usual time. I looked around the room but found Yang nowhere in sight. Is he in the dining hall? He left. I sluggishly stood and headed to the bath. After washing, I changed into my everyday wear. Outside of the room, I saw Rui walking my way. I have a moment. Yes? After a short pause, he began to speak in a serious tone. When I got here, I saw you as someone who took whatever handouts Yang decided to give you. I figured you had no brains of your own. That you have no will, no opinions, nothing. Sorry for treating you like shit before. But don't worry, since I won't be here for much longer. Rui, that's all I wanted to say, so see ya. And with that, Rui walked away. What was that about? Something was definitely wrong with Rui. He seemed to be decided about what he said. Warning! I'm assuming we read that. Yes, we do. We always do. Here. It's from Teo. A letter? Morlock took the envelope from my hand and opened it cautiously. As he pulled out the folded paper, something contained within it fell onto the ground. Huh? What's... Scattered are fewer what appear to be 10 fingernails, blackened with stains. That is disgusting! Stop it! I was like, oh my god, it's like freaking, Rosberg's fucking, like a necklace or like a cross or something. Like, whatever, so we know it was his. But his fingernails? Jesus! What is wrong with Teo? Jesus, this motherfucker is crazy. I love him. Soon the paper landed quietly beside them as it fell from Orlok's hand. Paper was blank. Lips twisted into a frown at the disgusting manner of his delivery. Fell to his knees and desperately gathered the nails from the ground. Ah, gross. I also have an order to relay as well. Let me know when you're ready to listen. Something wasn't right. I had to chase after Rui and find out why. You have to? I turned the corner and spotted Rui just as he was about to step through the entrance. I could still catch up to him. If I went out to tell someone now that I was going out, I would probably lose sight of Rui. Girl, oh, this is a trap. This is such a fucking trap. You're so fucking stupid. We are so fucking stupid! I felt my anxiety pushing at my back. Unable to bear it, I ran after him. As Rui walked into an alley ahead, I followed haltingly, wanting to get closer, but feeling as though I should keep my distance. Oh, we're gonna overhear something, though, I bet. Oh, I thank you. I give you kisses, too. Good boy. Sorry, my breaking me. I slowly peeked around the corner. I was fixing my volume. And saw Rui with Yuan. I hear. Is he reporting something? I couldn't hear their conversation at all. As I wondered what I should do, Rui suddenly leapt at Yuan. What's happening? In his hand was the sharp ring that he had used against Orlok. Oh, because Yang's like, I'm gonna kill Yuan, and Rui's like, fuck that shit, I'm gonna kill him first! He swung at Yuan's neck, but Yuan easily deflected it with his sword. Yuan's expression showed no change whatsoever. He dodged Rui's attacks as if they had rehearsed this scene many times. Yuan slashed at him with elegance and force. Ouch. Huh? A battle was ensuing before my very eyes. Yuan launched an unrelenting attack on Rui, subordinate. I was frozen in place with fear when suddenly someone covered my mouth from behind.
Quiet.
Yang?
Stay here and don't move.
Yang gave me a simple order before drawing his weapons and rushing between Yuan and Rui. Each of his hooked blades blocked the two combatants' weapons when...
Be gone!
Yang kicked Rui away mercilessly. He then swung one of his blades in Yang's direction. I think he meant Yuan's direction. Yeah. Because I don't think Yang is swinging his blade in Yang's direction. And since we were just talking about Yang, we're not talking about Yuan swinging one of his blades in Yang's direction, so... Either way, someone's swinging at somebody. Yuan avoided it gracefully, leaping back and creating some distance between him and Yang. Yeah, that makes sense. See? Yang was swinging at Yuan. They have a really bad habit of putting the wrong name in here, like Lon saying Lon to Faye and Yang swinging at himself. Saying, Yang!
Don't leave me out of this. Yuan is mine.
Yuan's dark, empty eyes shifted away from Rui and fell upon Yang menacingly. He quietly sheathed his sword.
I shall take my leave now. I would not want to injure myself in a scuffle with you brats. Eat!
Rui called out between gritted teeth, but Yuan simply turned his back on him and walked away. Yang was still as he watched Yuan's departure. Are you all right, Rui? As soon as Yuan disappeared from the alley, I rushed toward Rui and Yang. I tried to apply pressure over the spot where blood had soaked through Rui's clothes. What were you thinking? Do I have to answer that? Yang narrowed his eyes as he looked down at Rui.
Are you eager to steal the glory of his death from me? Yuan only has one head after all.
Huh? That and you still saved me. And then we're fighting for the same prey. If anything, my existence is just a nuisance to your goals.
Really? You are...
Similar to you, right? I remember you saying something like that before. Huh? I was actually eavesdropping on you two that night. I was standing out in the corridor. Creepy! We had sex after that, probably. Maybe. I don't remember what night this was, but I'm just saying. God damn it, Rui, you pervert. Pervert! So the sound I heard then was... What Rui was saying was true. Yang would certainly have known of his presence. Which means he was only feigning ignorance when I brought up the noise before. Similar or not, I prefer you not make any wild assumptions. There's no way either of you know how I really feel.
Both you and I detest the one who took us in, to the point that we want to see him dead. I heard that Yuan murdered your family.
Rui's eyes widened. His reaction spoke louder than words. It was clear that what Yang said was true. Is that why Rui was trying to kill Yuan?
Why the surprise? It's only obvious I'd investigate anyone sent to me by Yuan.
I just assumed you wouldn't care enough to look into it.
Who you are is of no concern, but I'm not one to remain ignorant of those in my midst, especially Yuan's men.
Rui fell silent. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then Yang started in a low voice.
I failed to kill you on every instance since childhood. 74 attempts and 73 losses.
What?
Huh?
Yang continued with a look of displeasure.
I remember every attempt to the last detail. In 53 of our battles, I didn't come close and very nearly died myself. 18 times I was able to injure him critically. As for the remaining 2, I was one step away from lopping off his head. I said 73 out of 74 right, so you won at least once then. I was interrupted and had no choice but to put the fight on hold. Do you see? He's simply toying with me. There's no way you can kill that monster with your level of skill.
Think I don't know that already? Rui was suddenly overcome with emotion. Anyway, I don't stand a chance against Duon, but I need to kill him with my own 2 hands. The day I remember seeing my family murdered, which is why I have to...
What, while you're still ahead? I'll never lay a single scratch on him as long as you live. Don't get in my way. Just be quiet and watch. I will be the one to kill him.
I guess I'll leave it to you then. Rui's voice quavered from trying to hold back the tears that surfaced in his eyes. So please kill him. His life for me. Yang chuckled and grabbed Rui by the arm.
Shut up. I need you to fulfill your role as my second in command. I've no use for you sitting on the ground. Now go back and do your job.
You're a taskmaster, aren't you? And now you understand why I don't just do nothing like you thought. Hello? Think he's hard on you. Jesus. He rides me night and day. You're welcome. He managed to stand and his composure returned. Keeping step with Rui's laggard pace, we made our way back to the Lao Shu base together.
What you doing? You're getting fidgety, don't you? Please. You need a break? I gave you one before we started recording and it hasn't been that long. It's only been 27 minutes, but then again...
Oh, we're in a new chapter!
We're going to step aside.
Not talking bird talk to you.
Here you go. Thank you. You gotta go? Yeah, you were getting a little fidgety. Come on, buddy. Come on.
Oh my god, you're gonna make me come get you. Good god, you could just fly, bird. You have motherfucking wings. I'm like freaking 6 inches from him, and he's like, nah. Reach your arm out as long as you fucking can to get me. My headset doesn't quite reach over there, but anyway. The next day, I encountered Rui walking down the corridor. Deja fucking vu, because I feel like this is what just happened. As though nothing was out of the ordinary, he gave a curt bow as he passed me. Well, wait, Rui! You're not going out, are you? I have work to do. But yesterday he was injured in battle against Duon. It's not like today's going to be dangerous. Just attending a deal. Second in command. Always busy. Can't stay in bed forever, you know. I can stay in bed. That's where Yang likes me. Oh. I understood what Rui was saying, but his wounds were no laughing matter. The doctors stitched them up, prescribed bed rest for a few days until his condition improved. I had hoped he would spend at least today in bed, but decided to keep my thoughts to myself. Well then, be careful. Gotcha. After Rui headed off, I went back to the room to wake Yang. Oop, bird. I peeked inside and saw him sitting on the edge of the bed. Good morning, Mel. Are you going out today? Yang seemed to have a tense air about him this morning, more so than usual. Maybe it's because of what happened yesterday. Judging it unwise to broach the topic now, I quietly climbed up onto the bed behind him. I combed through his long hair with my fingers and wove it into a braid as usual.
Yay! Time for some yummy dim sum!
I think I'm going to steep the tea in lukewarm water today. Oh and Faye were as fit as two fiddles, busily setting the table in the dining hall.
So, where's Rui? He's still in his room.
He left earlier to attend to a deal.
Huh? He should have just taken a day off today.
I agree.
He knows what he can handle. He knows what he can handle. And that was his choice. Leave him be.
Infiltrate. Oh no. It's Rui at the Falzone Manor.
It was quiet and empty inside the manor. This is about the only place left, isn't it? Here. I found myself praying as I walked through. I heard a distant relative took over, but by the sound of things, he hadn't earned the loyalty of the stragglers left behind. He rarely ever visited this town himself, but the place had been kept up at some point, spotless, flawless, and lifeless. Well, here I go. Time to rummage. Desk, a locked cabinet. Looks like I might find something worthwhile here. This'll be a good place to start. Rui, what are you looking for?
Oh, anyway.
He knows what he can handle. And that was his choice. Leave him be.
Behind Yang's seeming indifference, I could sense an unspoken trust in Rui. He's indispensable to the Lao Shu now. The bean-curd rolls with pork and vegetables had taken on the savory broth from the hot pot, yet they had the slightest hint of sweetness. There were also hot, fluffy, steamed buns filled with roasted sweet? Anyway, and rice noodle rolls in a rich, flavorful sauce. Tea smells so good. I closed my eyes, breathing in the fresh floral aroma, and brought the cup to my lips. Yang, who had taken a sip before me, knocked the cup out of my hand. Then he spat out his own tea with a frown and spoke sharply.
Don't drink. That's poisoned.
Huh? No way! We didn't do it, Yang!
I'm not so insane as to doubt you two.
Yang, are you alright? Didn't you just...
Yes.
Goodness. Yang set his hand down on the dining table, but his body veered to the side. Oh, his little eyebrows for a hot second before his sprite fell over and was like, whoop! Like, oh no, eyebrows, aw. Yang! As he collapsed to the floor, his chair fell with him.
Yang!
Her cries rang out, echoing from the dining room walls. He only had a sip, so...
I've done all I could.
Rui looked down at Yang, lying in his bed.
Looks like it's...
I have no idea how to pronounce that.
arsenic. The important thing is that he's vomited it out.
An odorless, tasteless, and highly water-soluble poison frequently used in assassinations. A short while after he fell, Rui returned just in time and saw to Yang immediately. With his knowledge of medicinal herbs, it came as no surprise that he knew just what to do. Will Yang be okay?
Knows. To say right now, all I know is that it would have killed anyone else. It's a miracle he's still alive, really. Just have to hope he pulls through. Anyway, looking at him's not gonna help much. And make sure to rest before you collapse too.
I'll rest with him. And with that, Rui left the room. It was quiet now, and I could hear Yang's heavy breathing. I gently brushed aside his bangs to dry the sweat from his brow. Although Rui was blunt, I could tell that he spoke out of concern for me. It was true that I could do very little for Yang now. Oh, but I couldn't leave his side. Oh, Worry is just popping right up.
Rui, how's Yang? The poison was strong, right? Is he okay?
Yang's still alive, sort of. I mean, it's even stranger that he's not dead. It'll probably make it, maybe.
Probably, maybe, I don't know.
You think?
Yeah, hard to imagine a guy like that dying from anything, let alone tea.
You're right. Yang's pretty tough.
Anyway, if you're so curious, why don't you go see Yang for yourselves? We don't deserve to be near him. He got poisoned from the tea we prepared.
We did a little poking around afterward to see who's been in and out of the kitchen.
One of them went missing this afternoon. Guessing that's our culprit. See, spy of Yuan's, huh? Knowing Yuan, he must have slipped one of them in here a long time ago.
Don't worry, Faye. I'm sure Yang's gonna be alright.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense, and he was talking. There's, like, multiple spies all over the place. Anyway, but I couldn't leave his side. What you doing? 16 years passed, and yet, as night fell, I still kept watch over Yang. I wrung out the wet towel and gently dabbed his forehead. It wouldn't cure him, but if it could ease his discomfort even a little, it'd be worth it. Every so often Yang would groan, but his eyes remained closed. He needs to drink something, but I don't want to spill it on him. I sipped a bit of water, then brought my lips to Yang's. After pulling back, I could see the slightest movement in its throat as he swallowed. Yes, come in. How's Yang doing? He hasn't woken up yet, and his fever hasn't gone down either. Surprising. Rui inspected Yang for a bit, then looked back at me. I know what you're thinking, but all you can do right now is wait. It's no use getting worked up about him now. I suggest you go and have a rest soon. I don't want to have to take care of yet another person. Listen to me for once. I'm gonna rest right here. I responded, I need to keep busy. Are you worried about me? Like, it's actually, I want to be like, are you worried about me? Because that's kind of cute, but I need to keep busy is, like, probably the right answer. I don't know. Both of these are good, though. Like, I need to keep busy because I'm worried about Yang, but this is, like, kind of endearing to Rui, so I'm not really sure. I don't think Yang would like this, but yeah, I need to keep busy. Like, are you worried about me is, like, the right answer if we were romancing Rui. I need to get busy because I'm scared. My mind keeps going to the worst possible possibilities. What if Yang... Couldn't bring myself to speak it aloud. Are you overthinking things? The poison he drank was definitely a lethal dose. No, that's not what I meant. It's a lethal dose, but he's still not dead. So what I wanted to say is he's not going to go down so easily. Perhaps Rui was doing his best to cheer me up. He then looked at the nearby kettle of water. Drinking water in this case is better than not drinking water. Help with the poison. You, Rui. Rui gave a slight bow and left the room again. Try my best. Clean up. Clean up in aisle 14. I see. Isn't that a shame? The subordinate who had infiltrated the Lao Shu shook nervously before me. Poison name is commonly used in assassinations for its odorlessness, tastelessness, and high potency, even in the slightest amounts. And knowing that brat, he will likely survive. He knows better than to gulp down a full swill at first taste. Though I had dearly hoped the woman would do so, as it would surely have killed her. I'm terribly sorry for not being able to finish him. And no need to apologize. You've done your best. Who knew he would have his wits about him, especially in the company of that woman? I had assumed the odds were reasonably good, but it seems she is very lucky indeed. Are you sure it was right for me to return? No one knew that I worked for you. I could have stayed with them longer. And that would not do. Even if you were to make it another day, the rats would have sniffed out the traitor before long and done away with you. We could not have that. You must be rewarded for your fealty and staying hidden for so long. You won. I filled a glass with liquor and handed it to him. And now drink. It's time you took a rest. Thank you very much, Duon. It's poisoned. The man respectfully accepted the drink from my hand, revealing the joy on his face. He drank down its contents in one gulp. As his hand shook, the glass fell to the ground, shattering into pieces. Oh, you must have a drink. You deserve a rest. Oh, you didn't think that was poisoned. His body doubling over, he clawed at his throat before finally collapsing onto the broken shards. The violent convulsions and cries of agony soon subsided, as they always did. Well done. If neither of them died, it means that nothing has changed. Now, what will be the church's next move? I suppose I'll have to wait and see. Try my best. I took another sip and brought the water to his mouth. Each time our lips touched, I silently prayed that he'd awaken soon. Then I fell asleep and curled up against him, like a cat. In the end, I didn't sleep at all. I noticed the light of dawn breaking through the window. I felt hopeful when his fever went down in the morning, but his recovery didn't last long. His condition seemed to fluctuate wildly. Oh. Breathing was still as labored and pained as ever. I couldn't help but think, don't die. Only I had drunk the tea. Don't die, I feel like. If only I had drunk the tea, then you'd be dead and he'd still be sick, so don't die. Yeah. Okay. I was like, I gently laid my hand over his as my feelings spilled out. Oh, please, die. I wanted him to live. No matter how terrible he was, right? I don't want to lose you. Suddenly, his eyes opened ever so slightly. His lips moved so subtly that the faint words that escaped them were indistinct. How? Soon his eyes closed again. Oh, he's fighting it. I can't let myself break down yet. I won't give up on him. More than ever, I needed to stay strong. I mean, maybe if we got one of the bad endings, he would die. But, you know what I mean? We're in the good ending. He ain't dying. A few days passed since Yang's poisoning.
How's Yang? Is he getting better?
Yes, it looks like he's getting better. I see. Lon and they were miserable throughout the ordeal.
Hey, Space, you must be tired looking after Yang all this time.
Why don't you go and rest? Lon and I can watch over him.
But
don't worry, we'll call you if anything happens.
Oh, we're getting a thing. Though Yang was still unconscious, his physical condition was much more stable. Doesn't it sound so stupid when I'm trying to read? Though Yang was still unconscious, his physical condition... It's so fucking annoying how slow the text goes. Jesus Christ. Can't say that enough. I will say it throughout the rest of this motherfucking game. What the? The Lao Shu? No, not your enemy. Wait, aren't you one of Gil's? You're right, he's the guy who was standing next to Gil when the Lao Shu hit us. I'm requesting assistance and I can pay you for it. It'll be in your best interest as well. Hence, I think this is what Gilbert would have wanted. Now, then decide. Orlok, leave my boyfriend alone! Anyway, though Yang was still unconscious, his physical condition was much more stable. Thank you. If you don't mind, then I'll just step outside for some fresh air. I knew I wouldn't be able to sleep, so I left the twins and headed up to the roof. I can sleep next to Yang, goddammit. I took a few slow, deep breaths. The fresh air filled my lungs as I looked up at the sky, and I suddenly remembered Yang. The thought of him collapsing yesterday still made my hands tremble. But I felt like there's been more than just one fucking night. You know what I'm saying? But obviously it couldn't have been multiple days, but it just, I feel like the wording was weird, but anyway. Or my brain just processed it oddly. Anyway. I knew he's strong, so I wasn't too worried at first, but this whole incident reminded me that even Yang was vulnerable to death. You know, your toenail's very tickly, Bird. As I closed my eyes, I heard the door open. I recognized the footsteps as they approached, though they were much slower than usual. My eyes widened at the sight of Yang walking towards me, albeit sluggishly. You're awake! I literally just left you 2 minutes ago! That's all I had to do was walk away from you? No, wait, you need to stay in bed! I hurriedly rushed over to help support him, but he gave a tired shake of his head.
There's no need. Besides...
While he spoke as usual, it felt as though I hadn't heard his voice in years. He is shocked! We just accosted him with kisses! I love this! CG, by the way, in case you didn't realize that. Without thinking, I found myself kissing him. I love the shock in his eyes, though. He's like, what the fuck? I love this! I could tell he was surprised. Not wanting him to pull away, I kissed him more deeply. Goodness, Mao. He looked at me, heard his voice. Such simple things made my emotions run wild. I want to be with him. No matter how much of a sin it may be, no matter what I might lose because of it, I still wanted to be with him. Our lips parted and I looked straight into his eyes with feelings overflowing from my heart. I was so scared. I thought I was going to lose you. Yang looked at me and... He lifted me up into his arms, carrying me like a princess. Wait, Mao, let me down! You haven't recovered fully yet! I don't think you're recovered enough for this. Yang brought me back to our room. Lon and Faye were nowhere to be found, which is probably good. He released me over the bed, then climbed on top of me. No! You're still...
If you're so set on taking care of the sick, then take care of me.
I looked up at his unsmiling face. He didn't look angry at all, but... His feverish gaze held me spellbound, and I felt a stirring deep within me. I should stop him, but... When I hesitated, he smiled wickedly, as he always did.
You'd really have a sick man do everything.
Meanie. My hands rose to the knotted buttons at the top of my dress, undoing them slowly. His golden eyes narrowed, seeing my bare skin. I fought back my embarrassment as I continued to undress myself while he watched in silence. I feel like at this point, with the shit that he has probably done to you, I guess it would be awkwardness. It's like, it's slightly, I can understand, slightly embarrassing to have you, like, giving me that fucking look that he's got on his face while you're undressing yourself. So I get it. Okay. I'll give her that. Even though the amount of shit he's done, you shouldn't be embarrassed by anything at this point, but at the same time, yeah, no, the way he's looking, you're like, it's slightly, okay, alright, I'll give it to you. Soon, the dress was laid open with my body exposed.
A fine sight.
My mind went blank at his low chuckle. I could no longer think of anything apart from wanting him desperately. After a few days, Yang had recovered to nearly normal. Rui came by to check on him when Yang suddenly spoke.
What you doing, Bird? Perhaps the intended target was her all along. Nevertheless, anyone who'd taken a seat at that table could have died. And the assassin didn't care who was killed.
Before you ask, I don't know anything about it. I haven't been in contact with Duon since that day. Yang wore his usual smile, but it was clear that he wasn't pleased in the slightest. His tone conveyed the terrible mood he was in.
I detest poison. How shamefully cowardly to await the death of one's prey while remaining safely hidden in the shadows. Yet these were the means that Yuan employed, knowing full well that it would irritate me. He must be determined to tread on my very last nerve. He will pay for that with his life.
Yang's eyes sharpened, filled with murderous intent. Yuan was like, if he gets poisoned, that's awesome. And if she dies, that's awesome. And if not, then Yang's gonna be really fucking pissed. And then that's awesome, because then he's going to fight me hard. I mean, I feel like any outcome of trying to poison me or Yang was going to work out in his best interest, which is just fucking weird.
Did he think I'd not assist him in killing the second commander while she was alive? Perhaps he sought her dead to teach me a lesson for spending time with women. In any case, he'll not live much longer for trying to take my property.
Duon knows Yang well, so he must know what riles him up the most.
Yang, about the reason the church decided to let go of her. I know why now. Speak.
Well, Rui looked at me with something of an awkward expression, but quickly returned his gaze to Yang with a wry smile. He's like, you porked her and she ain't worth shit.
Apparently she's no use unless she's a virgin.
But that's kind of bullshit. Because I'm absolutely useful with Dante porking. Like, I mean, I have to basically have sex with Dante or Nicola to, like, I mean, I guess they were like, she needs to be a virgin so we don't unlock the tomb of Jesus. But, like, if we need to, Dante are gonna need to fuck her. That's how this This is so fucking bizarre! And you know what? It never gets any better, no matter how long you've played this game, no matter how many times. Every time you say it, you're like, it's so fucking weird! I'm glad they put that in as the plot point, though, because it's fucking hilarious. You're like, that is... what the actual fuck? But it's so funny that it just kind of makes the game slightly more interesting. You know what I mean? Then like, oh, you have to like cut your finger and then with blood and like, no, it's like, no. Dante or Nicholas, someone in the Foul Zone bloodline has to fuck this girl and that's how you freaking unleash Jesus. Like, I mean, the tomb of Jesus or whatever it was. You know what I mean? It's like, that is absolutely what the actual fuck. So funny.
Hell, it's really the truth. I'm not just saying that to provoke you.
You're like, yeah, I have not been a virgin for like a long time. Well, I mean, for her it's been a year, but like, you know what I mean? It's like, I mean, the amount of times Yang has had his way with the... There's no way to cleanse that shit. As Ruri rushed to make his defense, Yang quietly looked at him and waited for him to continue.
Supposedly some special person called the Key Maiden.
Oh, that's true. I guess we never found out any of this shit in Yang's route. Oh.
The Key Maiden? Yeah, for some ritualistic purpose to the church. The thing is, you have to be a virgin or something. Honestly, I have no idea what I'm saying since I've never heard of a thing like this before. Since ancient times, virgin maidens the world over have been offered as sacrifices. I assume it's similar to that.
Yeah, I have to be sacrificed to Dante or Nicola. And, okay, it's still fucking bizarre. We've talked about it, we're talking about it here, and it's still fucking weird!
And whether or not we're believers, the point is that they believe. That's all there is to it.
Yang looked over at me with a haughty smile.
It seems your value to the church disappeared the moment I marked you as mine. Now that I think of it, the timing lines up with when Orlok left the Lao Shu.
That's right. After I arrived here... Well, because Orlok was protecting us as the Key Maiden, right? Wasn't he? Wasn't that the whole point in the first game?
Dang. Don't tell me last night you told me so many things last night. Right, Spacey? So, do you want the others to hear?
You can at least wait until we're alone. Orlok's shock face! That was literally a shocked Pikachu face. He was made to understand that I was Yang's. Afterwards, Orlok disappeared from sight and never returned to the base. Maybe he reported what he heard to the church and they told him to leave the Lao Shu.
I see. I guess that kind of thing can be seen as an issue.
Yeah, because he was only here trying to keep me away from, like, yeah.
As for the special aspect, it seems that the Foul Zone knew some secret information related to that. So I snuck into their place to see if I could find anything.
What? You snuck into the Foul Zone family manor?
Well, it's not like anyone was there. It was a cinch, so I searched the previous leader's office and found something relevant.
Apparently, only one of these Key Maidens appears at any given time. I looked it up to be sure, but there are no records of multiple Key Maidens existing at once.
I see. Not the
Yeah, so there'd be one being... There'd be like a baby Key Maiden out there somewhere, but, you know... It's kind of weird if you think about it, because, like, the timing has to line up. So, like... Otherwise, like, okay, you think about it like, oh, okay, I'm the Key Maiden, and Dante's father's not dead, and then you're, like, fucking 16, and then it's like, we need to unlock the Tomb of Jesus! Guess this guy who's, like, 65 is... I mean, and that's normal for, like, the oldie times. Maybe not the 20s. Well, still happens now. But you know what I mean? Like, ew. But then, like, I just... It's just... It's kind of gross when you think about it. You're thinking about us now in the game, like, oh, okay, we're like... What are we, like, 18? 20? Something like that? Whatever, I don't remember. We're always barely 18, so I'm going with that. Now we're older. But, like, you know, and all our boyfriends are roughly our age, so when they're like, oh, you're the Key Maiden, and Dante's got a... Oh, you know, whatever, like... But when you think about the logistics of, like, now, okay, we're no longer the Key Maiden, so there's another one that was born that is, like, a baby. Okay, and then at some point, because, like, Dante and Nicola... Okay, even if... Well, Dante and Nicola are dead, so there's really no point in having a fucking Key Maiden, is there? And neither one of them are kids, as far as we know. Nicola might have, like, 6 kids out there. You never fucking know. I feel like between the two of them, he'd have been the biggest whore. So, like... But, like... Let's just say that Raoul actually did have the proper bloodline, even though we know he doesn't. So, like, then he has a kid or something someday... But then, like, what? So we're, like, 25, and, like, now the new Falzone is, like, 18? Like, that's fucking... It's fucking weird no matter what way you look at it. We lucked out that, like, Dante wasn't that much older than us. Because otherwise, it's like, this is creepy. Like, I don't know, you know what I mean? It's just creepy when you... The whole thing is creepy, the fact that, like, you have to be a virgin so that this man can pork you. Gross. The fuck? But then when you get more... I know we're not supposed to think of the logistics, but I'm just saying! You can't put shit in this game and not think that at least a handful of us aren't gonna go, okay, but, like, wait. And, like, actually fucking, like, analyze this to the point of where it's like, gross. I'll stop. Anyway.
I see. Have the church found themselves needing to perform their ritual involving the Key Maiden? Well, I'd need to kill Space first, and then have the next successor emerge.
Ah! Even though... Okay, that makes sense. So even though I'm not the Key Maiden, I'm still the Key Maiden. I'm not valuable as the Key Maiden, but until I die, there will never be another one. It's not like, oh, they took my... I gave up my Key Maidenness. Well, Yang took it from me. Where now there's another one being born. It's like, I'm still alive. So Jesus is like, well, she's been like... You know, deflowered and shit, so, like, you can't bring me back, but, like, you gotta wait till she dies. I'm just figuring it was the church. There's gonna be some weird magic shit, so, It was clear that the Key Maiden held a position more important than I could imagine. God, you don't even want to know. But, having lived all these years without any knowledge of the part I played in all this, I couldn't just accept my death so easily. I mean, could you imagine? Oh, we're trying to kill you because you were important and then you had sex with this guy. Now you're not important anymore. Excuse me? The fuck? I understand why they would want to hide it from you. You know what I mean? Like, don't tell her. Just let her live a normal life. It's fine. But it's not fine when you absolutely know nothing and then people are after you and you're like, why? And they're like, because Key Maiden? Anyway, we're at time, so this is the perfect place to stop, so. Yeah. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.